As predicted, Josh Jacobs finally gets charged, and we're probably looking at a suspension, a pretty, maybe pretty lengthy one. Maybe it's more than a couple games. We don't really know. You'll have to forgive me. I'm very under the weather. The whole family's got whatever pandemic this is. And your boy was going to try and go live earlier. I thought I'm just going to wait till 8 p.m. Rest up, get ready for the graveyard show, get ready for this show. Because we do like 7-8 hours of live streaming from 8 p.m. on. 2 shows, get ready for the midnight show as well. We don't take days off. I'll tell you that right here. Jacobs, 2 misdemeanor charges, but they're bad. The battery, the misdemeanor criminal damage to property, the video footage, the altercation, the physical contact that the NFL does not want a video, which will probably surface at some point, shedding bad light on the NFL. He's getting a suspension. He's getting a suspension. How long? It's tough to say, but he's a total fade at this point, unless he starts falling down into a very, very, very crazy territory. But we've been telling you to fade him anyway. He's been one of the worst fantasy football values, period. And we told you consistently about avoiding this guy. And Marshawn Lloyd has been growing on us every single week. I admit I wasn't the biggest Marshawn Lloyd guy walking into the earlier part of the offseason. Every day I'm warming up to it, but we do have to keep in mind he doesn't have a lick of track record. But they're excited about him, and that's good at this moment. Trey Benson's a free agent. Maybe they bring him in. There's a whole lot more to discuss. And Trey Henderson, baby. Trey Henderson, who everybody's freaking out about because there was a potential little bit of a nagging injury. No, they're saying he's good to go. He's ready for week 1. There's no concern. Trey Henderson's stock back on the rise. I hope he falls a little bit off of just a PTSD and people saying, well, I don't like the idea that there's an injury even in play here at all, or that there was. I'm out on Trey Henderson. He's already one of the biggest steals in fantasy football. I mean, he's going around 5. How can you find a better value than that in round 5? You can't. The answer is you can't. The Fantasy Football Show, Breaking News Edition, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So we're here to discuss the fate and docket that reads Josh Jacobs, a player I've been telling you to avoid for the entire offseason, has been charged with misdemeanor battery and misdemeanor criminal damage to property. But here's the real problem. Surveillance video from Packers running back Josh Jacobs' garage, from his garage, confirmed the relevant the positions of the woman's account of the altercation. She told police that Jacobs grabbed her as she tried to leave, threw her to the ground, and then she struck her head. The video specifically shows that on the garage floor, Jacobs taking her phone and then returning about 40 seconds later and appearing to have damaged it. If convicted, Jacobs faces so this was a whole thing that came out when these charges were being handed down. And if that footage gets out, which it probably will, it probably already is out actually, that's going to be so bad for the NFL. They're going to get in front of this. Ray Rice, there was a video. He was done. He was cooked. This could be, doesn't matter if it's misdemeanor. A lot of the Jacobs supporters are going to come in here and go, it's a misdemeanor. You can get a misdemeanor by spitting on the sidewalk, Smitty. Smitty, misdemeanor. I don't understand. But Smitty, I could get a misdemeanor, Smitty, by just jaywalking, Smitty. These are all true things. But guess what? As Sesame Street and Mama told you when you were growing up, 2 things can be right at the same time. And essentially, misdemeanor throwing domestically a partner to the ground where they strike their head, damaging their cell phone, having video footage of it, all that combined is going to be pretty bad. So Jacobs is looking at least a couple game suspension, but it could be worse than that. It could be commissioner exemplist. It could be a handful of things. We did tell you that the league had a chance of waiting this out for the verdict so that they could potentially attack this one time instead of in pieces. But the NFL probably still would not have waited until the whole all the charges were brought, which is so crazy, the timing. Like the fact that this timing timed out exactly the way it is just, it's like the NFL controls everything. It really is. NFL's like, yeah, we're going to need this determination now. It's all timed right. But they very much could have said, hey, we're going to suspend you, and then pending new information, we will potentially add on to that suspension. The NFL does that all the time. The NFL can do whatever they want. So if anybody's going to come in here and say, well, it should be this, or it's got to be that, or Smitty, it's a misdemeanor. You can cross the street, jaywalk, or spit gum on the sidewalk and get a misdemeanor. Those people don't understand that these players live in the NFL environment. And the NFL will do what it wants. If the NFL doesn't feel like there's bad light shed on a very high-profile player, they might not do anything. If the NFL feels like there's bad light shed on a high-profile player or not, they'll do something. And sometimes they have a heavy hand, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they overreact, sometimes they don't. Sometimes Rashee Rice gets a way stiffer penalty than we ever expected, and we're like, that's America's team, according to the commissioner, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Golden Team. And they hand Rice a heavier suspension than you expect. A player has a pinky toe on the property while he's placing a WNBA bet, and he gets suspended for, the entire season. Like these things are definitely hard to make out and predict because the NFL's heavy hand one minute, not heavy hand the other. But the truth of the matter is, whenever it involves domestic violence or a dispute, and especially if there's video footage, it does not end well for the player. So we've said it before, we'll say it again. This is one of the worst values in fantasy. If you drafted Jacobs anywhere inside the first 4 rounds, that is absolutely your own fault, because I literally screamed, don't even draft him the entire offseason. This man, Marshawn Lloyd, while it's easy to jump in here and say he's going to go to the moon no matter what, he's a league winner, he very well could be. But this is also a situation where if Jacobs does end up returning and doesn't get like exempt listed or whatever, there's still a world where Jacobs comes back and it's a timeshare, right? And you also have to kind of remind yourself that Lloyd doesn't really have any track record. Let's see that resume. What are you working with there? What are you working with there, Marshawn? I mean, so we got to be a little careful not to just anoint somebody like, oh, this is, the best player ever. He's the best prospect that ever walked the earth. There's a little bit of in between. And the fact that he has had such a struggle staying healthy, but lives in an environment where they get to, Travis says they should go trade for Emmanuel Wilson. They should. Emmanuel Wilson was a beast in this offense. He was just so good. He was just so efficient. Jacobs would go out there and do nothing. Wilson would go out there and do more. But whatever running backs in here has a chance to maybe live in the red zone more frequently than even I suggest that they will, just because there's weapons. There's going to be some decent, positioning and a touchdown equity. It won't be as good as you might want it, but it's also going to be divided. Because if he comes back, it's divided, no matter how good Marshawn Lloyd plays. Marshawn Lloyd struggled to stay healthy. Now, this is the same medical staff that allowed Christian Watson to walk around with a thigh that was 30% smaller than the other, but they're also the medical team that figured it out and got him where he is. So you could look at the medical team 2 different ways, but this medical team did fix, it appears, Christian Watson's nagging hamstring injury. So you do wonder if they fixed Marshawn Lloyd, which is kind of the narrative that's being painted about Lloyd's health right now. But Lloyd is a very, very decent prospect. If he's out there, of course you pick him up. If he's out there, of course you have hopes that he could become the Jonathan Brooks to your team, as you watched the Jonathan Brooks owner who followed our advice and took Jonathan Brooks all off season and cooked. We've got a couple $20 super chats that need immediate attention, as they always do on this channel. This one from from Hawk, thank you for this $20 super chat. Let me handle that immediately. We also have 420-man gifting a membership over on the Rumble machine. And then we also have 420-man dropping a $20 super chat over on the Rumble machine. So let me grab those two, and let me see where's my I might not be able to clip. Let me see if I can clip it. Hold on. I think I can. Let me see if I can grab it real quickly. It's got to pull up the stream and snip that. So I'll handle those, and then we'll go through some stuff, and then we'll get straight into the super chat, or the rest of the super chats as the show unveils, as we answer phone lines and attack this situation, all these situations, including the Hendy situation, which honestly, after I read these super chats, actually, if you guys don't mind, real quickly, and Chuck Nasty dropping a $20 super or $10 super chat over on the Rumble machine as well. Thank you, boys, for doing that. And by the way, Rumble, we're at 20.6K followers. We're trending toward 21,000 subscribers over on Rumble. Let me throw these two $20 super chats here. Chuck Nasty dropping the 10 over on Rumble. But real quickly, let me just briefly touch on Henderson, then just get straight into everything. Henderson, everybody was concerned about Trey Henderson. Everybody thought, oh, Trey Henderson, this is a player that, he's going to get phased out if he doesn't play week 1. I'm getting scared, Smitty, about the news. How's Hendy looking? Henderson, ankle, it was an ankle, by the way, is good to go for week number 1. And that's per league sources coming from CBS Sports. Henderson is still trying to unseat Ramondre Stevenson as the team starter and will likely continue competing for the gig this season. The current word on the backfield split, let me throw Hendy's mug up on here as we talk about him. It's only right to show the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the hour, Henderson, the monster in chief of this New England rushing attack. And you can say what you want about Ramondre. I get it. You got who you got. It's fine. I don't really care. But Ramondre is eventually going to be unseated. Will it happen in week 1? Probably not. Let's be real. If you're drafting Henderson, if you're drafting Tootin, Henderson, other players around that territory, you're typically drafting those other starters, those entrenched starters before Hendy on the average. And that's because of how long do you wait? No one's blind in thinking that this situation's worked out before week 1. You can't just come in and say, oh, Jonah Coleman's so good, he's starting week 1. You can't think you got to step back and go, Jonah Coleman's so good, he's eventually taking over the job, at least JK's job, at some point. But you can't just blindly say, I love him so much, Jonah Coleman's just going to end up starting. He's going to magic pixie dust will be sprinkled. And white doves will fly, and it'll be amazing. It'll happen no matter what. That's Jim who has no attention to detail, that just swings and doesn't even look at the pitch. You got to be objective and logical. Is Hendy set to start and take over week 1? No. But are the reports suggesting from the beat writers, and they are, I'll spoil it for you. It's a rhetorical question, that this duo, Hendy Ramondre, is going to be a 50-50 divide from the jump? And the answer is yes. The answer is that is very much the case. So Hendy being healthy for week 1, almost tempted to hit the house call Hendy button. I really am very tempted to do it, but we're going to say, Hendy, go cook, young man. Go cook, do us proud, take the job fast, take the job in speedy fashion. Go get those house calls. Show the team that when you're on the field, you're the one that's cooking.
Let him cook.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
So, covered the Hendy and Jacob stuff. Let's get to these $20 super chats. 420 man says, keep 2. Jettas, Jonathan Taylor, Achan, and James Cook. There are no picks associated. Okay. 2 wide receiver, 10 man, leaning toward JT and Cook. Me, I'm taking H. 420, man, you've got to know by now, Achan's like in my top 5. So JT and Achan, I don't really hesitate, to be honest with you. I love Jeddah's a hit a situation. I like James Cook a lot, but he's still ranked below Achan and JT by a handful of spots. So it's not like I disrespect James Cook. It's more about me liking JT and Achan. But I don't even hesitate, bro. Those are the 2 best players. Those are 2 top 5 overall picks, in my opinion, that you're getting. They're both RBs. You know, would I like you to have a receiver? I would, but balance is cool and king. But I think I'm just taking those 2 top 5 players, bro. Love the show, Smitty. Rate this team 8-man redraft. Dart, Genty, Hampton, AJB, Flowers, Buka, Warren, Tootin, BTJ, Harvey. Like the team a lot, bro. Like the team a lot. You got Mike Washington, very smart. Coleman waiting in the wings. Harvey and Coleman together, league winning. This guy's paying attention, taking notes, taking names. Look at it. Would I maybe try and move like Flowers and something? Flowers and Dart for a better quarterback. Dart scares me. Dart's really good, but will he be in the lineup very long? It's a good team. I think I'm using, because you got Buka, AJB. Flowers is good. How about Flowers and yeah, I don't know. You might have to wait. I think you got to wait till you get some value out of BTJ, out of the Tootin situation, the Harvey Coleman. You'll get something that can pop up other than Flowers and Dart for a bigger, stronger monster quarterback. Or Flowers, and I don't know if you could pick up I don't know if Malik Willis is out. It's an 8-man league. Like, it's an 8-man league. You could probably go get Malik Willis and Baker Mayfield off the waiver wire and have 2 quarterbacks right there. So Dart, I don't know if anybody's interested in Dart, but Dart and Flowers for like one slightly better receiver. But problem with 8-man leagues is nobody really needs quarterbacks in 8-man leagues. So probably your only thing is you're going to have to wait until the season begins to really do anything of note. But thank you so much for and I'd probably rate your team if I had to like a 8.3 or 4. I know you want like a 9. But 8-man leagues are so rough. Everyone's team is stacked. 8-man leagues, it really comes down to having those difference makers. Who has Josh Allen? Who has Bowers? Who has Jamar Chase? Who has Jahmyr Gibbs? Because everyone's team is so great. Who has those difference makers? So it will be like a struggle through the year to try and get one of those difference makers. And they could develop on your team. Hampton could be top 5. Genty could be top 5. I like your team a lot. A.J. Brown could be top 5. So you have a makings of a team above 8 that I've said before. 8.0, you can win a league. You know, you can win your league. I'm not anointing you the number 1 overall spot. That would be a 9. If you're a 9, I'm saying, without looking, 9.0, you're the league winning team, I think. Without even looking, I can kind of predict you're the best team in your league. That's a 9 out of 10. I don't think I've ever given a 10 out of 10. A 8 out of 10 is you're probably, without looking, a team of the top 4, 5, 3 that could win. Maybe you're not the best team, though. 8.5, you're breaching it. But 8 points, you got to leave room for a little advancement there because everybody's going to have good teams. Washington Jr. looking good. Love this kid. Yeah, he's looking fantastic. He's not taking Genty's job by any means, but he's looking very efficient. He's out there right now. I can pull up the stats right here. Looks like Washington Jr. probably about 4 yards a rip. Let's see. 8 for 49, so he's ripped off a couple more longer ones that will give him better yards per carry. Remember, he's going up against backups and everything, but he does look really good, does look smooth, does look fluid, and there's a chance he starts week 1. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what the verdict is on Genty. A lot of petrified Peters out there acting as though things are worse than they are with Genty. Not that he couldn't miss week 1, but people are like, I'm really starting to, and it's just creating panic and everything. Like, I can't wait to draft Genty in the final week and a half here on Underdog, promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000 in bonus credit. So hit this link, draft with us tonight. Sign up now. I'll pin the link in the live chat, but sign up now so that you're ready for tonight when we jump into some drafts. And I'm going to go ahead and pin that link right there. Boom. Sign up, get ready, because Genty's falling to the 2-3 turn right now. And the Panic Peters who are saying all these negative things, it's going to linger all year. These people don't know anything about medical. You know, even some of the MDs on Twitter, the way they talk about it makes you, I mean, you know, they know about medical. If they're an MD, yeah. But the way they talk about it's like they don't. Talking about it from a football perspective, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different monster. And everybody's just trying to shock value be right, get clicks and views. They jump the gun, and they're saying all these weird things, just like they did with Neighbors. This is the channel that told you what was really going on with Neighbors. And if you're just finding this channel, ask around. Because everybody else and their mother started saying things about Neighbors they had no business saying. We said, watch, hold our vitamin water and watch and enjoy the show. We were right on Neighbors. We're right on almost all of these situations. Now, I'm not saying Genty plays week 1. That's not my stance. My stance is that people are making up stuff about whether he's playing week 1. Washington, 8 carries, 49 yards, 6.1 a pop. He's just a really efficient runner. The narrative people will tell, though, is like, oh, he's so good he's going to unseat Genty or it's going to be a problem. Those are people that didn't get Genty. They have Washington, and they just want this thing to happen at that level. But he is a must-cuff. There's a reason he's been on the must-cuff board, and he's kind of lingered from this territory here all the way down to here. So from 3 to 6, 3 to 7, this has kind of been a rotation of the best cuffs in fantasy, and he's been fluctuating all over there. So there's a reason he's on the board. We love M-Wash. We love P-Wash. We love M-Wash. The M-Wash, the Wash brothers. But people saying like Genty's going to get unseated. It's kind of wild, honestly. All right, so let me get through these super chats. Handle them in order in which to receive. Thank you, 420 man. Thank you for the gifted membership, and thank you, Chuck Nasty, over on the Rumble machine for all that. This one here, I was a little scared, but I got the Tootin train. Okay, why were you scared though to get on the Tootin train? We don't like any scared Scotties on the Tootin train. So hopefully you've shook that loose, my guy, and you don't have any more scaredness in the bag anymore. Okay. Your boy is muttering through this. I'm definitely, if anybody can't tell, I'm under the weather. But we do it live. We don't take days off. Smitty, you should rest. Stop talking about what I should do. Start focusing on your damn season. 10-team Superflex. Trade Rashi and a late second. 2 late 27 first. Sorry. Rashi, 2 late 27 first for Nico and Achan. Woo! Yeah, bro. I mean, look at it this way. Like Rashi Rice and Nico, I'd probably rather have Nico a little bit in Dynasty because of the trust factor. Like in redraft, I could go Rashi Rice, but I could also say I'd rather have Nico, because I'm a little bit more worried about Rashi Rice staying on track for multiple years in a row. So then you're looking at 2 late 27 first for Achan. Gilliam, this is one of the biggest home run trades getting the Nico and Achan side I've seen in probably a week. So the answer is easy, and I totally Smitty approve that Achan side. I think as anybody would.
You've just been Smitty.
Thank you very much for the super chat. DTX with the droppage here. Thank you, pal. 12-man 110 managed to get May, AJB, Ramondre stack, okay, along with Achan, McBride, Evans. Very good team. Very good team. Cyrus the Virus. I'd say that's well above an 8.0 team. Don't love the Ramondre over the Hendy situation, but getting another piece of the pie is also nice. I like it, bro. I mean, there's not much to really move right now because I don't want you moving May or AJB or McBride or Achan, and these other pieces are kind of contingent upon, explosion on the field. Brooks, wait on it. Cyrus, wait on it. Stribling, wait on it. Everything's a wait. Even Evans, undervalued. So you have no moves to make until these guys gain value, but you have a 8.4, 8.5 looking team, my boy. And then the climb up to 9.0 can happen from the players on that team doing well. Don't even need to necessarily trade. Love the team. Hey, brother, Dynasty Superflex. I traded away Devontae Adams for Mike Washington Jr. and Cyrus the Virus. I don't hate that. Dynasty's a different monster. You got to think more of long term. Adams probably has the 1 year left. There's a chance he gets banged up during this year because he's older. He's 75 years old. So this is a good move. Puka, Buka, Pickens, Parker. You got the wide receiver depth to get rid of him. So it's a very, very good move. I would say though, if you're buying on the hype that Washington's eventually going to like start or something or become such a beast that you got to have him in your lineup at all times, that's a little bit of a fool's gold chase. But he's definitely one of the better backups in the National Football League. So, but I like Cyrus the Virus a lot, so I'm okay with that trade. The combination of that is pretty damn good. And then Ray, appreciate you. Love fell to me in the middle of the third round. Ray, Love in the three territories win a league, bro. It's just the best value in football. I'm doing underdog drafts left and right, hand over fist, just smashing the Jeremiah Love third round value while I can. Knowing we are going best player available at the 12, what is the ideal guys to target in the first 5 rounds? Hope you feel better, brother. Tootin' to the moon. Tootin' would be one of them. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're looking at Achane AJB, Achane Pickens. JT doesn't really fall, but he has. Hampton, Walker, any of those guys with AJB or Pickens. But Pickens and AJB tend to be the wide receiver that I'm drafting with the running back that I choose. But Achane would be ideal. Then you come back around to the 3-4 turn. It's ETN, Josh Allen. McBride's fallen there like a couple of times. He might not in most grandma leagues because people draft what they know. It's like almost the people that are supposed to be smarter on best ball and all that. They're the ones that are screwing up, and they let Josh Allen go too far. They let McBride go too far. And if you don't believe me, if you're like, what did this guy say? McBride, he didn't fall into the end of the third round. You got to understand the environment you're drafting in. McBride has been fluctuating. There was a point where McBride's ADP was right about here, and then when his ADP's here, he can fall 2 or 3 or 4 spots on occasion. So we've seen him get it. Like, we've done multiple drafts where I'm sitting there at 3.10 or 3.11, and McBride goes right at 3.9 or 3.10, and we're like, So like, this territory, you never know what can happen. But in grandma leagues, people know his name, and they just draft him because he was, they don't think about they're not overthinking it like a lot of the other supposed to be smarter, sharper people, and they're the ones screwing it up. So you're probably not getting like that, but you might. You never know. ETN, Ladd, Buka. My favorite players at the 3-4 turn are Garrett Wilson, Egbuka, Ladd, ETN. Tootin's a little early, and unfortunately you might miss him though. But maybe if it's a grandma league, he does fall to your next pick. But it's not crazy to go Tootin there, but it's a little early to go 3-4. You're talking about 4.1, but it is what it is. If he's the best player there and you need a running back, I'd contemplate it. But definitely ETN, Garrett Wilson, Ladd, and Egbuka seem to be my favorite players in that turn. And Josh Allen, of course. I don't even mind like Loveland there as well. If you have balance coming out of rounds 1 and 2. 1.2 Superflex. I take May first round. If AJ Brown and JT are there, who do I take first of AJ Brown and JT? Probably don't worry so much about the stack, bro. If you're a non-best ball, stop thinking about stacking like it makes or breaks your build. It's not. It's different in non-best ball. It's fun, but it doesn't control anything. I mean, JT goes in the top 5 or 6. AJ Brown's going at the 1-2 turn. You start drafting for stacking, then guess what you're doing? You're reaching. You're taking the second. You might get a first round player in JT, but you're instead going to settle for a 1-2 turn player who we love in AJ Brown. But you got to take the JT value, bro. You start chasing things and you just lose value. Thoughts on Christian Watson, Tyler Warren? Christian Watson, I'm lukewarm on at his high cost of entry. I love the player. We've always loved Christian Watson. You can go back and watch the rookie incoming videos, the rookie prospect profile videos we did on him. And no one's higher than Christian Watson walking into his career. But he does have, kind of a high cost of entry. Not because he can't earn it, but just because Parker Washington behind him. Like, I'll take Parker Washington over Christian Watson all day. Dunse's interesting. DJ Moore, Hendy, Adams, Tootin. It's just such a good round that it makes it hard to like say, oh, that's a smash in round 5. It just makes him a player I tend to kind of avoid more than not at 5-round territory. 5th drafted player seems a little bit rich for a guy that has to still prove he can stay healthy. Tyler Warren, love him. Where is he going? Sleeper, ESPN, Yahoo. He can go at freaking like 48 overall, like four end of the 4th round. I'm not saying can't earn it, but like we see him on underdog over here, and it's kind of a kick to the sack when you see Tyler Warren right here in round number 6. We're talking about 6 in the 6th to sometimes 7th round territory. He falls, and you have to pay for him at this territory here in other drafts. So it's like a big discrepancy. One of the bigger discrepancies across ADP data in the offseason is Tyler Warren. So it depends where you're drafting him, but I do love him in 5. I don't necessarily take him at 4, but he can earn that. 100% love him. He's a monster. Could be the number 3 tight end. Could even be number 2 if like an injury strikes. He could be number 2 or 1. Got the membership, still high on Mike Evans. Attaboy, Ariel. I appreciate you getting that membership. I think I remember seeing you come through. So attaboy. High on Evans. I'm high on Evans to a degree. I'm not saying I'm off or that I soured on it, but injuries happen, and it does make you a little bit concerned. Walking in with multiple banged up situations makes you a little bit fearful, but keep in mind Shanahan said he's coming back Monday. So do you plan on a player coming back on an exact day if there's an unknown injury that they have to test, see what's what? No, so they know what's going on. They're just load management type of approach. So definitely still loving Mike Evans. And if anything, Mike Evans is now a 5th round pick. It sucks if you already drafted him, but he's a 5th round pick, and now his risk is baked in even more. Smitty, someone offered me Puka and Dobbins for Achane and Downs. I passed. I'd rather have Achane and Downs, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Achane over Puka, and people might be like, hey, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks about I care about what you guys, my diehards, think, of course, but at the end of the day, my job's not to please everybody and give everybody a pick that pleases the majority. My job is to tell you what I think. Right or wrong, that's what I'm here to do. And Achane's a top 4 or 5 overall player to me. And so Puka's 6 or 7. How close are they? Do the math, couple picks, right? So, I mean, it's not like I'm saying Puka's down here and Achane's up here. I'm just saying Achane's here, Puka's here. Why? For all the reasons I talk about every single damn day. Don't need to necessarily rehash it. For the person that's typing right now, why didn't you like Puka? Watch a show or 2. Absorb 1 or 2 shows, and you'll find out. So instead of me doing all the work for you, like Rome, you're here every day. You're here every day, and here you say it again. How is Achane over Puka? With what logic? You're here every day, and you're asking this question. It's unbelievable, and I know someone's typing. I can feel it. I can feel it. But explain it. I need to know. Watch a show. Rum, open the ears and listen to a show or 2. You're here watching it, but I don't think you're listening to it. Nice team, bro. Lawrence, Neighbors, Evans, like it. Strong, bro. Strong. Copeland, appreciate you. Copeland coming in with a strong $5 super chat, says, what's up, Smitty? I have Lloyd Jacobs. Owner offered me Mike Washington. Should I take? I have Lloyd Jacobs. Owner offered me Mike Washington. Should I take it? Drop the Cyrus the Virus one for me one time. I think, man. Chat, would you rather have Lloyd or Washington in a vacuum? Please vote on that. Just in a vacuum. The Jacobs owner wants him. I think you need to hold him over his head. I would get more because the Jacobs owner is in full panic mode right now. And he's trying to offer you another backup for his backup, and that's even Steven. I would say hold it over his head. Washington is good, bro, but Washington is going to be shorter lived, and he's really good, but it's a dead end cul-de-sac for him. He's got to turn around and come right back out. There's no way for Washington, unless Genty were to be injured for the year, to really do. You got to take the guy that is in a position to maybe be even more than Washington will be in week 1 if Washington, let's say, started week 1, which I'm not saying he will, but if he does, Lloyd could be starting for multiple games. Lloyd could take over the starting job. So you need to hold this guy over the fire and get way more. And that's stuff you're not going to use. Make him pay, bro. Or say, you know what? Say this. Copeland, there's nothing worse than when you're in a trade negotiation and the person that's thinking about trading with you changes their mind and goes in another direction. You're like, wait a minute. So if you go, you know what, the more I've looked into this, I think I got somebody that's going to be the eventual starter all year. And if he thinks you're shifting, he's going to want to way overpay. So Copeland, attack it like that. Act like you have a newfound different viewpoint. And he's going to say, damn it, he's consuming stuff on this. Say, the more I look into it, I think he's going to be a starter for the year, bro. And if he goes, no, he's not, no, say, I'm not going to debate it with you. You're trying to get him from me, bro. You know the same thing I know. And just leave it at that. And then he probably comes back and say, if you're going to take him off my hands, you got to take him off my hands like he's a starter. If not, I'm going to enjoy the show. You get the popcorn ready, and we'll watch Green Bay games together if you want. But you got to attack it like that, and it will make him, I think, overpay. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate every single one of you. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. House call handy. Good to go for week 1. Josh Jacobs likely getting suspended. How long? I don't know. Could it be way longer than people think? Yes, it could. It could be way longer than people expect. It could be just 1 or 2 games. Someone wanted Cyrus the Virus to play. Let's do that.
Cyrus.
Mute yourself. I'll be right with you.
Cyrus the virus. Cyrus the virus.
All right, phone callers, mute yourself. I'll be right with you. Everybody, please hit mute on the phone line. Everybody, you get hung up if I hear anything. Travis, you are live. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me switch the speaker over, boys. We got a little problem here. Houston, we got a problem. Let me get this switched over, and then we should be good to go. So hang tight. We'll be attacking any news as it comes in as well. If there's anything, suspension related or whatever, we'll know a lot more probably in the coming days in terms of Jacobs or what that looks like. All right, Travis, you're live. I can hear you now.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, he's doing that. And it is what's being reported. You got to think it's likely because that's usually the minimum for domestic violence.
Yeah, you'd have to think it's going to be more than. I know people are going to they're going to say the misdemeanor thing, like it's a misdemeanor, it's not a big deal, but that's not the case. When it's domestic, the league takes a completely different angle on it, and the fact that there's video footage, you got to think about what Puka did. Puka's facing probably a 1-game suspension according to Schefter and Rappaport. That might end up being 0 games. It could be 1, it could be 2, but Puka didn't exactly, we're awaiting what's going on there. It was just bad light he put the NFL in many ways. There's a lot of different things being considered, but the NFL doesn't need some sort of exact formula for suspending a player when it becomes the domestic, abuse or violence or any sort of misdemeanor. It doesn't matter. So yeah, there's a chance that there's a chance he goes on the exempt list and then he's just in limbo and you don't even know what's going on. But I would think it's going to be something definite and finite. Now that there's a resolution, I think if they didn't have a resolution, there was more of a chance of going on the exempt list, especially if the video was known, which the NFL surely knew about it. The NFL knows everything. They do their own investigation, but you get, put on the exempt list and then, and then you're just sitting there in la la land until the commissioner decides to move forward. But because they have an actual, conclusion to this thing, they're certainly going to just put them on, I think, some sort of, 4 to 6 game suspension. And the misdemeanors will have a little bit of a determination, because it's not something crazy in terms of the charge. But the league doesn't just look at the charge. The league is going to say, what does this look like? He may have gotten a good deal negotiating down to 2 misdemeanors. But the actions that brought him here they're not diminished in the eyes of the NFL because he was able to finagle out misdemeanors. So the fact that there's video footage that is coming out at some point, it's surely going to be released. And the NFL can't have video footage of a player throwing their partner to the ground, hitting their head, and then that player being able to just be suspended for a couple games. Not going to happen. The NFL doesn't operate that way. The NFL is surely going to make sure they make an example of him like they've made of every player. But the fact that there's footage of this is the kind of nail in the coffin for his skating by the NFL. That's my prediction anyway. But again, caveat, the NFL does weird things that you don't expect when it comes to punishments on both the extreme and the under-delivering.
Yeah. And what is it? November is the court case. We'll wait till then, but they've done that before too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that as well. All these things have to be considered, but yeah, I think the video is the key part. Like when that Ray Rice video came out, if anybody remembers, the NFL handed down punishment. They didn't hand out enough. The video came out, and the NFL was forced to readdress it and hand out further punishment because the NFL was like, oh my God, we made a mistake. We look so bad right now that we only said slap on the wrist. So that's why I think the NFL won't allow this one to be, they won't be made a fool on making a too light of a punishment for throwing down domestically your partner onto the ground. Not going to happen. I don't think. Okay. Thank you, Leo, for the super chat. Appreciate you very much, Leo. Where are we with this one right here? Hold on phone line. 12-man keeper league. I have 4th overall pick. Keepers are Rashi Rice 4th, Jaden Daniels 5. Deciding between Tyler Warren and 6 or JMO and 7. Probably say Tyler Warren because he's such a good player, but he's also not a bona fide lock every single week, depending on your roster, of course. But he is somebody that I think is your wide receiver 3, and you might even be deciding week to week. And I'm not saying that like we love JMO as a top 12 wide receiver last year, but if you got JMO and Parker Washington, you got DK and JMO, you will be in here on a weekly basis going, hey, who do I start, JMO this week or DK? So like when you're talking about Tyler Warren as a staple, I'm going to go ahead and take that value. And there's such good values in 6th round, it's fine either way. JMO would be interesting. I guess I'd answer it this way, though. If you think you could get Warren back or Fannin back right around this value anyway, the only thing is Warren's going, like I said, in non-best ball environments in round 4. So round 6 is a good keeper value. JMO is a really good value in 7, but Parker Washington, all these other players that could replace him are a little bit less impacting. But I don't know. I could go either way. Chat, vote. JMO 7 or Warren 6. Vote on that if you could. And then Gilliam says Jadarian or Jordan Tyson in Superflex. Jadarian, bro. Like Tyson's out for a couple months. Even in Dynasty, I'm taking Jadarian over Tyson moving forward, at least for right now. Not by a country mile, but I've moved the two and swapped them out. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me go to these callers. Travis, unless you have anything else real quick.
Good.
All right, everybody, please mute. I'll be with you in a second. Michael from San Diego, you're live, young man. What's up?
Taking me to the rest of the phone call is I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on the situation at Washington. His whole line's not looking good, and I honestly feel like that team is failing JD5. I think, in my opinion, he's the most talented out of the 24 QBs.
Yep.
Close, but I think he shades made by a hair. His situation is just horrible right now, especially with that offensive line and them losing Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil was huge.
Like value at ADP.
Travis and I talk about this a lot, and I guess I talk about it a lot with Travis, I guess, more than anything. But I'm like, Travis, he's just sitting there, unfortunately, hearing it from me over and over. But we have kind of agreed on this topic, I think. Travis, you can speak to it after I say this, but there are times in fantasy where you kind of need to admit to yourself when something feels shaky, even though you're, down deep it's there and you ignore it. And you go into the year because it's kind of like it's not a full amount of doubt. It's just a sliver or if it's a big cup, it's just a small, like 2 ounces of the cup that is a new injected amount of doubt. And far too often where our biases don't allow us to absorb it or recognize it. And I think it's more of an important, focus of this channel. It'll probably be a lot in the off season. And we'll do it as we go, and I'll define it. I'll make sure I define it. I'll have a screen for it. It'll be like the honest meter or the, unbiased meter, the asking yourself an honest question meter, whatever it is. But you have to be able to, when the doubt is not so big to overwhelm and flip your take, but it's there. And like in hindsight, you look back and you say, damn it, I knew that this was going to maybe go this way, but I just kept going and marching on. My biggest example would be BTJ, because, and I still like BTJ, but walking into his,
that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, walking into his second year, there was a lot of like doubt that was buried underneath all the hype and the fun that was BTJ. And if you couldn't dig into it and like sift, you're sifting for gold in a little sifter, right? And find the real answer, because there's so much dirt and junk in there that you've put there and you've been excited about. It is something you have to re-examine. This is why I have the Dallas Cowboys winning the division. And it's not something that I think excites everybody when I say it. Let me see if I have it over here. Let me pull it up. I think I changed it on the screen here.
Not a hot take at all.
Yeah, I think I have. I haven't switched it out yet. Let me on this board. But I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even know. I think this is going to be a weaker looking division than people think. It looks, it's so strong. But I think the Dallas Cowboys win the division. I think the Dallas Cowboys, everybody loves to make fun of them. They're the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be, let's put them at 12-5, which I think is, a very reasonable record. I don't know that they're like a 14-win team or anything crazy like that. But they will be able to win the division, I think, with a 12-5 record, or at least like tie it and win it with tiebreakers, whatever. I'll put the Eagles at maybe. Honestly, they look so bad right now. I'll put them at 11-6 because of their defense and a lot of other reasons. But we'll go 11-6. Hurts looks like trash right now. He just keeps throwing interception after interception. We'll put the Washington Commanders at 10 wins. I know that's not what Commander fans want to hear. But to answer your question, my boy, I definitely feel, and we'll put 7 wins here, so 10-7. I definitely feel that things are falling apart, and it's very easy to say, they'll be okay. We love JD5. I'm not saying JD5 bust. I'm just saying time to reassess whether you're putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to JD5 or McLaurin, whether you're putting all your eggs in one basket and predicting this team to win, if you're just talking football terms. I'm not saying I'm out on Washington. I'm not saying I'm out on JD5, but I 100% am concerned. And to the point where if all things are equal, the JD5 decision or picking the Commanders to do this decision will fall below other decisions that don't have those question marks. That's kind of my point. I'm not saying I'm out. I'm not predicting demise, but I certainly am not as excited with Tunsil going down. It's just another thing, and I agree with you. They failed them. They did bring in Diggs. That was nice, but it did seem like they were sitting on their hands for a while, and I just don't know. I don't know what to make of this thing. JD5 has got a lot to prove right now anyway, and you put him in this volatile environment. I'm very much a JD5 fan. We'll be hitting the JD5 button if he's going crazy. I'm not saying avoid him. I'm not saying doubt him. I'm just saying be honest with yourself. If you're sitting there between Drake May and JD5, or Joe Burrow and JD5, you probably have to put JD5 third. Slick Rick, appreciate you.
Like him over Jalen Hurts still?
Of course. Didn't you just hear me say Jalen Hurts looks like trash?
Like Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert.
Is there a world where Herbert or T-Law outscore JD5? Absolutely. Is there a world where Jalen Hurts outscores them? Probably not. Could they both fail? Maybe. But Jalen Hurts to me is not
Thinking about Hurts, right? Interesting question about him. Do you think the tush is pretty much dead? Because I don't really believe in him, outside of that in terms of massive top five QB production. I feel like the tush push has to be a factor.
I think there's two factors when it comes to Jalen Hurts and the tush push. Number one, they can't keep doing it, and we've heard rumors, and I believe them to be true, that Jalen Hurts can't be continued to be used that way, and that they're going to try and trick people this year in a lot of ways where it looks like it's going to be this tush push. They're going to run Barkley, or they're going to figure out something else, some trickery, So I'd say like where tush push was 100% used in every scenario 2 years ago, 3 years ago, walking into this year in a tush push environment and situation where it looks like it's going to be a tush push, we're going to get like 70% usage or 60% usage. So you dial that back, that's not good. That's going to take away a lot of his fantasy production. Number two, he's getting injured doing it. He's getting injured every year. He's getting more and more hurt, and he's getting hurt quicker, where you have Sirianni lying at the podium about whether he's injured or not. And there's evidence of him lying, literally lying in front of everybody's face. Hurts is getting banged up. He's also been performing at getting worse. His passing's worse. Everything's getting worse. He's deteriorating because they keep abusing this man and having him go through a crack this big with a 300-pound lineman here, 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 and then 2 or 3 300-pound linemen jumping on the pile at the end. Like, this guy's getting smashed. Like, it's not. Everyone just looks like it's a pillow fight. It looks like, they're just kind of like falling into each other. People don't realize how rough and aggressive that is. There are people in there back in the day. If anybody's like grandfather played in the NFL or in college, they used to go like this in the pile. And I don't know that they quite do this the same now, but you used to be in the pile in the NFL. Somebody just grab a finger and just go like that inside the middle of the pile. Like, it's not, rose petals and white doves inside the pile. This guy's getting smashed to pieces. And the fact that they're dialing this offense back to being a run-heavy system, a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. Hurts has looked awful. This offense has looked awful. And they're going to run a lot more. They're going to be more vanilla and boring than ever before. And they have all these weapons, and they can't use them. They lost A.J. Brown. So you're asking this guy to be better than he was without A.J. Brown? Like, I understand the concept of Devontae Smith gets more volume. He should be better than he was because A.J. Brown's gone. But nobody talks about if you remove A.J. Brown, does the entire offense just completely fall apart? And they didn't even use A.J. Brown right. But you take away all this stuff, Hurts is, and then you dial back the fact that he can't tush push as much, and that he's not going to, that's where he gets all the volume. He's a horrible passer. He's a 2,919 to 21 touchdown passer. Without the tush push, he becomes human again. And his kryptonite is having to do things other than tush pushing. So, yeah, I don't think he's in the same caliber at all. I'd take him in best ball and then couple him with like another player. I'm not saying I haven't drafted him, but he certainly is not in the realm of the T-Law Herbert consistency like category. And then I have Mahomes above Hurts.
You think he's still a top 10 fantasy quarterback, don't you?
Not necessarily. I mean, he has been borderline there the last 2 years. And you got Bo Nix injecting into the top 10 consistently now. You've got Malik Willis that might creep in there. I still think Stafford is now inside that territory. Baker's been there before, probably could return. Shuck is looking really, really good and precise in practice. He's going to creep in. It's like Purdy. If Purdy stays healthy, Goff, all the other usual suspects. I don't know that Hurts, if you take away even 20% of that tush-push production, how he can remain inside the top 10. I think the rushing numbers that will still be better than the average rushing quarterback or the average quarterback will help pull him into the conversation of like, I guess 10 to 15. But this guy doesn't look good right now. I don't think he can outmaneuver all of those quarterbacks, especially when you're injecting new, Caleb, potentially Ward, but Caleb, Shuck, Purdy, Danny Dimes will be back. Like, these are all quarterbacks that could rival him. So,
yeah,
Oh, are you talking about JD5 or Hurts?
No, Hurts.
You were talking about Hurts.
Okay.
I was just to finish my point out. Looking at his ADP, I don't know if I can draft him. Like, I get your lower on Hurts, but he's going near Joe Burrow. You know, Trevor Lawrence to me is better. Herbert, and then even Dak Prescott just feels safer to me at this point, just with what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
The George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
Sure.
Like, I like JD5 a lot, but I just don't trust that offensive line to keep him upright.
Grippy says Smitty likes Caleb now. Not really, bro. Okay, so let me answer Slick Rick's question. Slick Rick, you still there? Slick Rick said, Smitty, my boy, let me pass on Devon Halfley Slowick. Oh no! Oh, let me pass. I thought you meant you're passing on Devon Achane. I'm like, come on, bro. What are you changing tunes here? He said the entire offensive scheme is designed for him. Okay. And the way you worded that, let them pass on Devon is what he said. I thought you should let me pass on Devon. Let them pass on Devon. Halfley and Slowick are in love with him. The entire offense scheme is designed around him. He will get fed like they've never seen before. Believe me, I know. Okay. God, I was reading that wrong at first. I'm sick, so I apologize. Slick Rick, are you still here? I've talked to Slick Rick about HN in private as well. Look, this is a player that is, you've heard his head coach say, when he tries to tap out of the game because he's tired, he doesn't want to, he's not letting him. This is everything you've wanted to hear about two players this year have come from the mouths of Halfley and Campbell. Dan Campbell said, we're going to test Jahmyr Gibbs' limits. We're going to feed him more than ever. This is like a dream come true. You're like, wow. You know, how many times are you on the other side of that? Like, what do you think of Gibbs? We brought Pacheco in for a reason. Like, it's like finally we're hearing what we want to hear. And Achane, what is it? What are the odds that you're thinking to yourself you're going to hear Halfley say something like, you know, we're gonna go ahead and use 5 different running backs, but no, these are the two guys being talked up by their head coach of being players that are going to get 40 touches in some games. So Achane's in my top 5. I'm over Puka Nacua. You don't like it, the door's right there. You don't have to be in the comments complaining about it over and over and over. Don't like my take, then go watch someone else. I'm talking about 1 or 2 specific people in here that every time I mention that start running their mouth about it in the chat. Don't like it? I don't care. Achane is a top 5 overall player. And you don't have to be on board. We've dealt with this before. We've dealt with this over and over and over. Every offseason, we have somebody running their mouth about it. Achane's going to get hurt. Achane can't do this. At what point do you believe and take it all in? Or do you just continue to say what you set him down right there, boys? Right there. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. We're here to do work. We're here to win championships, not complain, gripe, and moan about why you think I'm wrong about liking Achane as high as I like him. All right, boys, stay right there on the phone line. Michael, you can stay right where you are. Travis, I'll be right with you. Thank you, Slick Rick. And this one says, I have JSN and JT. Who will you draft in the 3rd round? I have JSN and JT. I mean, it depends who's there, bro. We've seen Neighbors fall there. Jeremiah Love falls there now. Love is a smash for me. I'm taking Love in the 3rd round almost in every draft right now up to week 1. I'm just going to overload on. I'm going to take Jeremiah Love's 30% saturation that I have on underdog drafts. My exposure is about 30%. I'm going to take it up to 60 if I can in the 3rd round value. So that would be 1. Josh Allen's really nice as well. Hugh with the final super chat, then over to the phone callers. What do you think about Jalen McMillan with Igbuka healthy? I thought he looked pretty good. I think he's okay, but we're hearing it's McMillan. It's gonna be Godwin. It's gonna be. I like these guys, but the only player that I want on my roster consistently in my lineup and at my wide receiver, 2 would be amazing, is Igbuka. And I think that Godwin and McMillan are decent. I think Hurst is also a player that could really make a name. I don't really care too much for anybody but Igbuka. I like him. He's okay. Yeah.
McMillan can be a backup, I think, with Tess Johnson, but he's on that team right now.
Yeah. All right, callers, let's file around the phone line here. Everybody stay muted if you can. 904, you're live.
Hey, bud, how's it going, man?
up?
So my question is, if you had to buy a player earlier, or reach on somebody maybe a round earlier, if that was a player, who would you reach for?
Anybody?
I mean, specifically, like obviously, I'm pretty high on Tootin, but obviously, he's going in that 4, 5, 6 range. Would you be okay with reaching in 5?
Tootin at 5? Tootin's a steal in 5. That's not reaching. That's like picking up a pot of gold on the way to work. Like you just do it. Round 5's not a reach for Tootin. I'd say when you get into like mid 4, it starts to feel a little bit early, but still doable. I think where it would be a reach would be you're at the 12 pick and you're at the 3-4 turn and making Tootin your 4.1 because you have to go all the way down and back. That would be where you're kind of breaching the lines of, space-time continuum crossing streams of the different, molecular structures. That's where you could break the space-time continuum, but doesn't mean it won't work. I just don't want you in there like Interstellar at the bookcase going 4.1 because if he gets hurt, you're done. So you got to be careful. But I mean, like a late 4.
What about Neighbors in 2? Because I've seen him a lot in the best ball. Going to 3, would you be okay with reaching for Neighbors 2?
I'm fine with that. Yeah, but I'm not doing it over Pickens or over AJB. So just make sure you're not, you're not passing on great talent. Yeah. Just don't pass on great talent though. Okay, like in just because you want to force somebody on the roster, but like Pickens or AJB but yeah, I love Neighbors in 2. You know where Neighbors becomes a great second round pick? Sometimes when you're sitting there at that 2-3 turn and you can kind of like a puzzle piece, bro, figure out how to draft. When you're in a draft and somebody takes somebody too early and you're whoever's on the phone line, Gump or whatever, please mute yourself. You take a player, you see somebody reach for a player, right? But then they get a steal on the next pick that really belonged in that first pick. And you're like, okay, if you just swap these, it's fine. Like they made that early pick, but somehow they got a deal here. And if you just move those guys into those different spots, the team looks totally normal. That's kind of the way that Neighbors can operate for you. That if, let's say, because you can get Love, who deserves to go honestly, Love deserves to go at the 1-2 turn. Jeremiah Love deserves to go at 13, 14 overall. People aren't off their rocker. They're scared. They're petrified. They're petrified Peters. They're unaware Ungers. They don't know what in the hell they're doing. And so Love gives you the flexibility to say, if I took Love, I wouldn't get Neighbors. But if I take Love here, I get Neighbors here. So moving Neighbors to that second round pick might get you a team that you couldn't get if you waited on Neighbors, even if you got, Neighbors, but Neighbors is a very, very good wide receiver to snag in this like second round if you can pull off that Love. Love is the key. This combination right here, Jamar Chase, Neighbors, Love, feeds families. Just feeds families like crazy. So this is, or if you go Chase, Pickens, Love, Chase, Bowers, or McBride in Love, those are some of the best builds you can build from the first, second, and third rounds. All right, my man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Later. 514, you are live, young man.
Yo, Smitty, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
Not much. I've been watching you for 2 years, first time caller.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing, bro. You're a funny guy, so keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
I have a trade that I just did earlier. I want to know your thoughts. I pulled the trigger and I was debating it over and over, but I ended up pulling it. So basically, I ended up getting Genty. I traded my 2027 first, which would be like top 3 to 5 this year. Most likely, I mean, obviously you never know, but around that area. And then I traded a 2028 and the 2028 second and Charbonnet.
So you 27 first, could be 3 to 5. At 28 first and then seconds.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, and then
pretty good.
Well, you're getting Genty, so you're about to make the pick worse, by the way. Okay, so Bro, I'd give up 3 first-rounders easily for Genty, 3 first-rounders for Neighbors, 3 first-rounders for, you're not getting. Yeah, that's right. You're not getting any sort of talent like this. Hampton, even like to a degree, like, but especially Jeremiah Love, Genty. None of those guys are available for 2 first-rounders. So even if this becomes the number 3 overall pick, 2 overall pick, it's still a very arguable trade. Like Genty, if you drop Genty into next year's player pool, there's a chance he goes over Jeremiah Smith. So you're getting, even if this is the 1.1, it's still, you're not like taking a bath on the trade. And the fact that this guy's scared about Genty off of a pre-week 1 ankle injury is wild. So this is a fantastic trade. Totally Smitty approved, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think it's gonna finish. My team's gonna finish top 3 there, but it's a pretty good team. It's a young core. I got like Neighbors, and I just added Genty. I got my one guy. What else I got here? I got RJ Harvey, Burden, Brian, BPJ.
All right. Good job, my boy. Appreciate you.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Thank
All right,
you.
call in anytime. Later, bro. Nice trade. Later, Steve. 763, you are live. Hello?
Hey, Smitty.
What's up? Yep. What can I do for you?
Hey, so I'm joining a new league, a 10-man league with 2 quarterbacks and a tight end premium. I'm not sure how to value the quarterbacks and tight end.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Yeah, tight end premium is tough. I would say if you've never done it before, especially when it's super flex on top of it, it can be crazy. Because it kind of like neutralizes one of the upsides in a way, and it's kind of crazy. But I would say, it's all relative. If let's say Bowers goes up to top of round or bottom of round 1 or mid round 1, then Loveland goes from round 4 to top of 3. McBride goes into the top of 2. It's all relative. And if you believe in a couple players like a Conquo or Fannin, and Fannin goes from, let's say Fannon's still, I don't think Fannin climbs any higher. He's kind of like a de facto like 5th, 4th rounder at highest in premium. You just kind of keep asking yourself, can you get that guy that no one else saw coming and still take advantage of like the superflex quarterback value or whatever the other positions? So don't overthink it per se, and understand that if you aren't good, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it doesn't mean you're not a good fantasy player. Just not everybody has the William, mute yourself. I'll be right with you, but please hit mute. Not everybody has the skill set to draft, the early tight end and the early quarterback, especially together, in a way that they practiced and they understand it. Like sometimes the best fantasy players never go early tight end, and even if you're one of the best fantasy football drafters and managers anybody's ever met, and everyone always says that guy will win. You're always winning leagues, but you don't go early tight end. You go early tight end, you might not know how to navigate it because it's a special kind of build. So be careful not to do things you don't really know how to do. It's always fun to attempt them. You can always do underdog drafts and stuff and just kind of like attempt different strategies. I'm hoping they do some superflex stuff next year. But I'm sorry, some tight end premium stuff next year. But definitely entertain the early tight end if the value seems right, but I wouldn't reach on it necessarily. Is it full PPR over normal receivers, or is it 0.5? Because 0.5 is kind of like
0.5.
Yeah, I don't mind drafting Bowers if he's still in the top of 2 or McBride, but I don't think I'm going round 1 on that. But sometimes your league mates don't even adjust much at all, so then you got to understand that too. But it's kind of hard for me to give you too much advice.
What about quarterback? So I have the 4 pick. Should I go for a Josh Allen, or should I take like a JSN or a JT if they're there?
Leo, your message is right here. I got it right here. There's a lot of messages, so I'm trying to get through them all. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
So I'm at the 4 pick, and should I go with like quarterback like Josh Allen, or is that
Yeah.
Jason or JT?
I personally am never going to pass on Josh Allen in a superflex. I think if you could guarantee me that Mahomes would be down there in the second round for you, then I could get Gibbs or Jamar Chase. I probably would take that if you could guarantee it. But other than that, I'm not, And you could also cuff Fields to Mahomes. I know Fields is not the most exciting quarterback in the world, but in the Andy Reid system, he'll probably score points. So having Mahomes and Fields cuffed together is really, really good, bro. Because it guarantees you a starting quarterback, and it gives you kind of a flexibility and no fear approach to push the limits to your second quarterback. Because there's nothing worse than having even if you have Josh Allen, I like Josh Allen more. But if you had just Josh Allen and you didn't have the ability to cuff him, which you don't, because there's nothing that's going to help you there, then it's if Josh Allen goes down, your team could be cooked if you only have the one quarterback. But if you have Mahomes and Fields, you kind of living in Doc Holliday, where you got no fears and reservations. You're just, gunslinging. But yeah, go Josh Allen if he's there. I'm not going, quarterbacks like Caleb or anything over JSN or Gibbs or Bijan or Jamar Chase or anything like that. But I would take Josh Allen. I think Lamar deserves that consideration. Burrow deserves that consideration. As we talked about, Mike just brought up Mike from San Diego, the JD5. I think you do probably have to take JD5, but it is something that you now debate a little bit more when you're talking about Jamar Chase or JD5 or Gibbs or JD5, especially if I think I can get Mahomes or Bo Nix. Bo Nix would be a good second-round quarterback too.
Yeah. And then if there's McBride in 2, would that be a good value as a turn from the 4 pick?
Yeah, I love McBride.
Yeah, worried about going early quarterback and tight end and making a mistake, missing out on some wide receivers.
Yeah. The crazy part is, though, you'll be surprised if you go early quarterback. You can punt the tight end option later because it's only 0.5. So I would probably get a Conquo. I'd get Fannin later would be my target. If I don't get Fannin, I get a Conquo. Conquo is going so late. Pair him with Goddard, and you have 2 really good tight end options. There's a lot of other tight ends that you can grab, bro. And then you could get Parkinson and Ferguson. We talk about a lot as a combo, and then you're covered. There's a lot of ways to be crafty with this thing. But with your quarterback, you'll be surprised if you go early quarterback. You'll see more players than you ever imagined in round 3 and 4. You're like, oh my God, he's still here. He's still here. The last thing you want to do is get to a point where you pass on the early quarterback like Josh Allen, and you get to round 3 and you still see St. Brown or something. You're like, what am I doing? Why didn't I take an early quarterback? I could get him right here. Jeremiah Love is going to be in 3 or 4. Tootin's going to be in 6 or whatever. So, all right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you. Call in anytime.
Thank you.
Travis, you want to add anything to that? I thought I heard you say something.
No, just with the tight ends. If you're not comfortable going early like that, like you said, tons of options. I mean, Jake Ferguson, he's boring, but he's probably a top 10 or 12 tight end. You can take him with Goddard and with the Conquo and with Hunter Henry. There's probably 8 or 10 guys down there at the end if you just want to pair 2 together.
Yeah. Real quickly, let me just read these real quick. Leo says, I have Stanford. Stanford, that's a new one. Burrow, Chase, Terry, Hampton, William, Dallas, Fannin, Williams, Dallas. Writing code here. You mean Javonte Williams, Dallas? Or Dallas Goddard? I don't know what the slash is there for. Fannin Jr., Mason, ETN, Lemon, MHJ, and I plucked Lloyd as soon as you went live. Smitty goated. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate you. Love the team. I would definitely put Burrow above Stanford. I don't know if you're in a super flex or not, but if you are, you're in a good spot with those 2 quarterbacks. Chase, Terry, Hampton, Javonte. I think that's just Javonte, Dallas running back. I think that's what you're saying. Might as well just put Javonte. But Fannin Jr., very good team. ETN, MHJ. You have an opportunity to maybe take MHJ and ETN or MHJ and Javonte and upgrade that into a monster. But that past that, I mean, I'm not trading. Maybe Terry, Javonte, Scary Terry, and then keep ETN and keep MHJ maybe. Because of the reasons we're talking about. Like, Scary Terry's older and Washington a little bit of concern. So give me Terry and Javonte for one bigger monster. I'm going after, like, Love and somebody, because you can probably get more because Love's undervalued right now. Javonte might even be close to, like, Love's ADP. So you add that, do a cool 2-for-2, or go for a higher RB. But you do that, and your team's like an 8.5 to 9.0 out of 10. Smitty, I'm loving P. Wash more than every day. P. Wash to the moon. That's why he was the second, I believe, added spaceman this offseason.
To the moon.
We've had him on this list since before the Super Bowl, when we did the early drops on the Moon Men.
Dropping loads in
he's on Mars. Sorry,
he's on a shuttle to
there he is.
Mars map.
I mean, February 2nd, before the Super Bowl. So we've been touting that one for a while. Everybody's just catching up. Thank you for that super chat, my guy. Phone line, I'm almost through these three. Just hang tight. Is taking Drake May at 4.2 in a 12-man league an overdraft? I have HN, AJB, ETN. Yes, you're trying to just cuff it, bro. You're just forcing it. I'm not saying I don't look like... I hate for you to miss out on getting them, but you can't just... You got to take what you can get, bro. What the ADP will let you steal away, and you going 4.2 seems a little early. But that said, I guess if it's 6 points per TD pass and quarterbacks just go early, you might be okay, because by the time you get to your 5th round, some other quarterbacks will have gone and filled the space in between your 4th and 5th round pick, and maybe it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying it would be devastating. I'm not saying it's crazy. And given that Allen and Lamar are already off the board, I understand it. And if you have to have it, and the scoring has to be 6 points per TD, though. If it is, I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily condone it, but I'm okay with it. And if you have to have it, it's just going to make you happy on Sundays. I think you'll recover. 5th round player might fall just perfectly to where you say, oh my God, I should have just drafted Drake May there. And you know what I mean? Like, it might fall perfectly for you. I can't guarantee it will, but it just depends on the league too. But 4.2 is not insane, but it does feel a little early. But it is what it is. Your pick isn't there. I don't know if you could trade down a little and get him, but I don't hate it. Trade Bijan for Jamar Chase and Lloyd. Man, Lloyd just gets immediately. He's in these big deals just immediately. I mean, I draft Chase over Bijan by 1 spot. So I guess, assuming you can handle and manage this, your team is 85 Olave, Neighbors, Terry, BTJ, Kincaid. But then you don't have much at running back. You have Tootin, because it's hard to like take a team that you didn't construct for it, and then, like, for example, I've been offered like quarterbacks like JD5 for my Gibbs in the Wild Wild West Superflex League. And while you would typically say like, oh, Lamar over, I have Lamar, but like, let's just say someone offered me Lamar for my Gibbs. Thank God I already have Lamar. But if they did, I wouldn't be able to necessarily accept that, because I drafted, I built my team a certain way. And this team is built in a way that you get rid of Bijan. It's not like your wide receivers are looking good. A lot of Neighbors, Olave, Terry, BTJ. Your running backs are Sharps, Benungai, Corum, and Tootin, which I like Tootin with Bijan, but I don't think your team can do this. And Bijan and Chase are so close, don't disrupt your entire team to get that going. Drafted last night, 12 teams, 0.5 auction draft. My team is Lamar, Saquon, Kyron, Jonah, Coleman, Mason, Neighbors, Igbuka, BTJ, Cyrus, Kittle. Thoughts? 12-team league. I think it's pretty good. I don't draft Saquon. I don't like Saquon as much as the average bear. So you what?
He feels more of like a floor play than a ceiling.
Yeah.
That's
so
really early to take one.
Yeah, so this is going to feel a little bit like a team that there's a little bit to be desired, because I'm not a Saquon drafter. But in Kyron, I like, but I don't like him in non-best ball, especially if you don't have Corum, which I don't see, but maybe you didn't list all your players. So I would probably say Saquon for me is a trade for Love, down to Love, and you should be able to do it right now. It's the ankle injury. Trade Saquon for Love and upgrade, let's call it Kyron. If they have 2 running backs, you could do that. Saquon and Kyren for their 2 running backs. Very tough trade to do, but you could pull it off depending on the 2 running backs they have. But anyway, Saquon for Love and something. You can maybe upgrade BTJ. You can maybe upgrade Wandell. You can maybe upgrade Kittle. So try to go that route. But I would definitely try and trade Saquon. And I'd also try and trade Kyren. I don't know what I would do, but Kyren and Kittle, Kyren and Cyrus, Kyren and BTJ, for whatever one you don't use. But I think I would try and maneuver out of that situation. I love Neighbors. Don't trade Neighbors. I love Ibuka. I just think those are the opportunities for me. And then Big Profit says Mike Washington or Lloyd. We answered this a minute ago. Not a minute ago, I guess like an hour ago. And the answer is Lloyd is in a better position to start more games than Mike Washington. Mike Washington is literally a great player that's in a situation where he can't go anywhere. And he's going to have to steal from the 2nd or 3rd best running back in the league. And let's call him the third or 4th best running back in the league in Ashton Genty. So, what is he really going to be able to do for you on a regular basis besides start week 1 if Genty even misses week 1, which is not any sort of certainty at all. Whereas at least Lloyd has a shot of becoming their future. They're excited about him. They talk about him all the time. So they want him to be the eventual starter there. So I probably would say Lloyd is the better value. And anybody that has Jacobs should overpay by a country mile. Big Profit, you still there? Did everybody hear their super chats? Sorry about the wait on some of that. Sorry I'm late this evening, says Big Profit. You don't have to apologize, my boy. What's up, Smitty? 12-team dynasty. This is a $20 hauler, by the way. $20 super chat.
Super chat.
Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate you. Last one, then back over to the phone callers. I'll go to Gump first. Gump, get ready. Get your singing voice ready. What's up, Smitty? 12-team dynasty. 1 QB, Jaden Daniels, Jonathan Brooks, Jeremiah Love. Let's put Jeremiah Love in front of Jonathan Brooks. I just like order. Put them in the right, proper order. It makes the team look better when we're reading it. But Love, Brooks, Hickens, Rice, Kraft, Ladd, Mike Washington Jr. I like the team, bro. Very, very crafty. And I think, we talked about Jaden Daniels being a little bit of a concern. I do wonder if you could trade JD5. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm just saying get rid of him for a quarterback like, who's his backup? Kyler. I don't like Kyler. Like Bo Nix maybe, and then you upgrade Rice or Kraft just a little bit. I mean, imagine getting Neighbors instead of Rice by going from JD5 to Bo Nix or something like that. Or Ladd to Neighbors, or Ladd to a Pickens light player to put right next to Pickens. I mean, something like that seems attractive to me. And I don't know that you have a lot of other things to move. Don't sell Jeremiah Love, especially on the low. Don't sell Pickens. Rice, I would get rid of him if I'm upgrading him. Ladd McConkey, I'm only getting rid of him if I upgrade him. You don't have a lot to other pieces to move because you're waiting on him or keeping him. Stribling's a nice addition that might push someone over the fence especially if they had one of the other San Francisco wide receivers. But yeah, bro, JD5's kind of and you might be like, I love JD5, I'm not trading him. Then I'd probably say stand down until week 1 is over so you can see what's what. But that would be the place I would explore. Travis, did you want to say something real quick? And then I'm going to go over to Gump.
No, I think it's a pretty good team. I mean, like you said, maybe try to get some RB depth. Keith Mitchell's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like a couple of, I'd explore a little more.
Yeah. Let me go to Gump. Sit right there. Let me go to the 651 real quick. 651 as fast as you can, because Gump's so long-winded, you're going to end up just hanging up. So go ahead real quick.
Okay, hey Smitty, first time calling. It's Henry from Minneapolis. I got a dynasty quick trade offer off the Jacobs news. So I'm tanking. It's a super flex league. The owner of Josh Jacobs, I have Marshawn Lloyd. He's trying to trade. He's offering basically Tyler Stuck and a 28-second for my Cam Scat and Marshawn Lloyd. I want Lloyd off my team. I don't really believe the hype that this is all surrounding, so I'm happy to get it off.
Okay, so Rick,
real
quickly, you said Superflex?
Superflex? Yep, Superflex. Okay. And I only have Burrow and Jordan Love. So I need a QB anyway.
Okay. So Scat and Lloyd for Shuck and who?
Just a 28-second.
No, this isn't enough. Yeah, this isn't enough for me because this guy is desperate right now. And while I like Shuck, you got Love. You got Love. This is a 28 second, right? 28 second. So let's put a second. You got Love. I'm not saying I like Love, but you have Love. You could even throw Love back to him to neutralize this value, and then you get to ask for a whole nother like big piece. But I mean, you're giving up Scatterboo. You know, if this is me, I'm giving up Lloyd and Love for Shuck or something. You know, like why are we giving up Scat? How is this guy getting Scatter? And I'm not saying I don't trade Scatterboo as well, but he's got a lot of decent value.
Yeah. So the logic is that it would kind of help with the tank, and just to be honest, long term, I'm not as big on Scat as other. I think
I'm not either.
I don't.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
But why are you getting rid of him for like almost free here? You know, like I know Shuck is valuable, but Scatterboo has tons of value, and this guy's not. Not only is this guy in need, but you're catering to him, and also he's getting to pick what he wants. He's like, your beggars can't be choosers. This guy needs Lloyd, and he's either going to take him or you're going to, you know, and like I said to that other caller, take an approach like this, bro. Just act like you're sometimes acting, I don't want to say oblivious, but behind a few minutes or hours or days. It doesn't make you look stupid. It just makes you look busy. So if you say, bro, the more I've looked into this, I don't think I'm trading Lloyd. That's going to mess him up, bro. It's going to mess him up because you know what you're doing? You're distancing the train from him where he can't even catch up and jump on anymore. So distance yourself a little bit from it and just say, look, if you want Lloyd, we got to attack this differently. Like, I don't even think I should do this, but if you swap Love and Shuck, you know, I'll give you Lloyd or whatever. But that's not even like taking advantage of him. That's, you know, arguable to some people, but I would definitely look into, if you were going to do this, I would try and give him Love and then try, because I don't mind trading Scat. So give him Jordan Love and give him Lloyd and give him Scat. You're taking Shuck. I don't care about the second. So if you got to take that out, and now you're getting this extra piece from his team. What does he have? Does he have anything you could put in here? And if he's like, I'm not doing that, then he just wants everything for free. You know?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, he's pretty reasonable. I'll talk to him. But yeah, appreciate the advice.
All right, later, bro. I see. He's pretty reasonable. It's almost like he's the bro. You didn't have to beat him up that bad. He's like, he's a pretty nice guy, Smitty. I mean, it's not that bad.
Really like Shuck, which that worries me that this guy knows he really likes Shuck.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with how much you let on.
Yeah. Michael from San Diego, you got anything else before we go to the long-winded Gump?
Yeah, I'm fighting for Gentry's rights right now, man. Everyone's on the Mike Washington's going to make it a 50-50 split. But
it's crazy.
What I wanted to actually talk about was this Atlanta Falcons QB competition. To me, this is no shock. I didn't mention this a lot on the show, but in my personal circles, I'm not a Tua believer. I think his career is coming to a close.
Oh, yeah. It's Russell Wilson. It's Russell Wilson going to Denver. It's Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh. That's what it is.
Yeah. 100%. But for it to be this, where he had a clear line shot to the QB1 role, and he can't even win it over Penix, who just got back to 11 on 11. I don't know if I'm crazy to think this way, but I'm slightly worried Penix might be forced back into action too soon off the knee injury, and then he ends up, he's had so many knee problems that he ends up having another one, and then it's just over, and that offense is just...
Yeah, but keep in mind what I said about the ACL, bro. Keep in mind what I said. The ACL is not soft tissue. It's not throwing, like, burden out there too early with the groin, and he gets worse. He's worse off than he was re-tearing it. The ACL is literally a mechanism to keep the two knee joints tight. It doesn't have, so once the graft is healed, it's not the ACL. A lot of people don't, they picture the ACL as something that's still healing and oh my God, it's not ready. The ACL's been ready. That once the graft heals and that ACL is stuck in there and they put screws in there, the bone grows into the screw holes and everything, and it tightens up, and then you start working. The concern would be is the thigh muscle, the surrounding muscles in the leg, the trust of the leg, the cutting. You don't want to overcompensate and then tear something else. So I guess there could be some overcompensation, but the other thing is he doesn't run much. So it's not like he's going to, especially he's not going to run this year. So he's just plodding around back there. It's not that high of a risk. You can come back from an ACL tear too early and be fine as long as you don't take a shot, which would tear it even if it's healthy. You know, that doesn't really change anything. His ACL is not vulnerable right now. More so like with a shot to the knee. It's more so, does he trust his leg and does he tear his other leg because he's compensating or something like that. But it is what it is, man. You like the Tua is going to go out there and just tank the entire fantasy values of everybody involved. This is why I've been saying over and over that it's Gibbs over Bijan, and it's not even close. There's not even a debate here. It's not even debatable to me, because Bijan is
starter at this point.
Is he? Wasn't Shador started a lot earlier than he? This is Stefanski. This is what he does. This is exactly what Munkin did in Cleveland, where he took over for Stefanski messing up this kind of call, and now Munkin's doing it. Munkin chooses freaking Watson, who the whole world knows.
One common denominator in Cleveland, though, Smitty, is that's the front office. You know, now you got a second coach, and it's the same thing.
That it's on the coach that doesn't have decision making. That's his own fault. But Stefanski is probably going to muck this up. But if he chooses Penix Jr., good. But I have a feeling that you're going to see Stefanski. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Going to be like, oh, we're going to go ahead and try it. And everyone's going to be like, oh, my God. I'm just saying, like, you're going to see massive panic on Bijan. If Tua starts week 1, you're going to see people going, oh, my God. This is going to be like JJ.
QB proof.
I don't think anybody's QB proof, though, bro. When the quarterback is so bad, everybody tanks in value. I'm not saying Bijan's he's a bust candidate. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna walk out disappointed with Bijan's week 1 numbers if Tua Tagovailoa starts week 1. That's all I'm saying. It's just like it's what could have been. It's not.
Not have 30 points, but I can see him having. You know.
I know, but that's a problem, though. That's a problem, Michael. That's a problem because we're expecting Bijan to be perfection at the cost of number 2 overall, and Tua is going to step on that. So. We'll see, but at least they had two quarterbacks.
I think either Penix will get healthy, or I don't know. I don't think Strand will step.
I like Strand.
And again, like I think Gibbs for redraft is a clear 1. I don't think Bijan needs that much to be a top 5 running back.
No. Bijan's number 2. Like, again, I'm not trying to suggest that Bijan's not the number 2, you know, or could like someone sneak into 3 like Achane or Genty or like, sure, of course. But Bijan is my number 2 overall running back without a hesitation. Like, I don't know anybody, you know, takes what I'm saying wrong, but I'm merely trying to say that this is Jahmyr Gibbs' tier break. And then Bijan's right there in the conversation. You like Bijan over Jamar Chase? I understand it. But I have Jamar Chase over Bijan because of the touchdown equity. But
more running back value, too. That's what I get to on ultimate upside with Chase, but it's just hard to find running backs later. So I think I've
said it before. I just think it's more for CMC.
Yeah, could be.
A great pick.
I'll buy Bijan low. You're not buying Bijan low. Like, that's what I'm saying. People aren't listening to what I'm saying. No one's getting Bijan low, bro. He's the number 2 or 3 overall pick. Like, I don't think people are listening to what I'm saying or what's going. I'll buy Bijan low. He's not. You can't buy him low. Thoughts on trading Bucky for Tootin and Stribling? I would rather have Tootin and Stribling for sure. Yeah. Like Bucky, I like a lot. I'm not saying I dislike Bucky. All right, let's go over to Gump real quick. Gumpy, you're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, Gumpy?
I went to a football game. Our high school team won today, like 50, 60 to nothing.
Okay.
No
offense, Gump. No one cares about the high school team right now. We're talking on the fantasyfootballshow.com. So hit me with some relevant.
The Cardinals won, but anyway, I got the 5 pick. We do our draft Friday. Not Friday, but Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to grab Jonathan Taylor. It's between Jonathan Taylor and St. Brown.
Yeah.
Picking in between I'm probably going to grab Jonathan Taylor.
Consider
And then I know you're
consider
saying
Achane.
you're saying Achane. You're saying Achane, but I'd rather have Kenny Walker than Achane.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I don't hate.
Everyone's.
I mean, if I grab Jonathan Taylor and Kenny Walker, his sleep is flying in the wind, the fall wind, I'm plucking that sucker. I'm the gunslinger. I'm Billy the Kid. I'm grabbing Kenny Walker. The third.
Gump. I don't know that he's last into your second round pick, but good luck.
I know he's not. That's the problem.
But yeah, well, you're gonna have to make a trade, Gump. But you're not taking Walker over JT.
I'm not going to be now. Who do you like, Waddle or Olave?
I don't love Waddle. I don't hate Waddle, but I don't love his ADP. I like Olave more.
I don't know. Waddle seems like he's like a zit, man.
He walks like a what?
No, I'm just saying. Just to me, I feel good about him.
Okay.
You know how when you're drafting, you have to feel good. You know, and I feel good about for that tight end Warren. I kind of feel good about him.
Okay. Well, go with those warm and fuzzies. Do what makes you happy, Gump. That's what matters.
Well, I was going to let the draft fall to me and grab my quarterback, Jalen Hurts. At the end, I'll get Dave.
Jalen Hurts. Didn't you just listen to anything we said?
What?
Did you not pay attention? Did you not pay attention to anything I said about Jalen Hurts? Didn't you hear?
No, I didn't hear it.
He got abducted by aliens a couple years ago. He got an imposter in there right now.
No, he's coming back this year.
Oh, okay.
He's throwing with it.
Yeah. They figured out he's left-handed.
No, I'm just serious now because I'm doing this draft. I got my serious hat on. I'm serious because I want to get. I'm good here. I was thinking of running back.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think? No,
I don't do that. Gump, do you watch anything I produce? Because I don't tell anybody to go running back, wide receiver. I draft players, Gump, not positions. Gump, I gotta go. I appreciate you calling tonight, though.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah. Hey, Gump, you know who was talking about you? No one. Gump, I gotta go.
Oh. You're funny. You're a good man.
Gump, usually Gump's laughing. Gump's laughing. All right, Gump, we'll see you later. I appreciate you, Gump. What, Gump?
Be a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? Just be cool, man. That's my new thing. Everybody
just be cool, dude. All right, Gump, we'll see you. He's laughing. All right, Gump, we'll see you tonight.
All right.
There you go.
That's the first time we haven't hung up on him in a long time. Daniel, real quickly, and then I got to go.
Thank you, Smitty. Hey, I'm from 11 pick PPR. Thank you a lot of leagues now, man.
It's crazy.
Praising, and if Gentry's there, are we grabbing him? I know you hate running back.
I don't hate running back. Number one, I said I only hate it from the 12 pick, like the 11 and 12 pick. I don't.
11 and 12.
Well, no, yeah, like the 12, 11, yeah. But if you're
11th pick and if I get 8-10 and Gentry's right there, I go AJB because we're big on him this year. But do you mind us?
No, I don't. I don't. But you got to be careful. Like this, you got to know your draft. If you can get somebody like Rice or every league's different, bro. Neighbors, I got Neighbors at 4.5 in my buddy league. I don't know how. I just did.
People are fading Neighbors and Rice.
So, yeah. That would be where in hindsight you're like, why didn't I go Gentry there? So like, yeah, but I can't predict how your draft's gonna go. I will say that I usually like teams better with the balance out of the 11 and 12 pick as a running back, wide receiver. But there's, if it's a 2 mandatory wide receiver starting lineup versus 3, running back ends up being a lot more appealing to me.
If King Brown happens, we're grabbing them all.
It just depends who's there. I mean, if he fell, who else fell? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty much a no-brainer there for the most part. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I still like Achane though as much as St. Brown though. So I'm not
Achane over St. Brown.
Well, I mean, I'm saying. Okay. All right. Thanks, pal.
Thank you, man. Yeah, Achane is.
Well, I'm like trying to tell him he's not listening to me. I like Achane as much. I'm not saying you don't go St. Brown. It depends on what you think you're going to get in that second round. A lot of it is you trying to learn, or trying to understand what your league mates are going to do and how it's all going to fall. But I'm just
you do at the 2 point.
Right. So yeah. So if you're still listening, my guy, like you don't necessarily have to just take Achane because I like him, quietly more. I'm just saying, try and get away with what you can get away with. Like, would I take Achane and St. Brown? Yes, that would be amazing. So if St. Brown were to fall to you, like Travis said, you're picking at 11. Achane could still be there, and then you can get both of them by going Achane later. Don't just take Achane because I like him better. I was trying to tell you were kind of like talking over. I don't think it's your fault. The phone line sometimes has a delay, but I was trying to say doesn't mean I take him over St. Brown if I don't need to. Depends on the ADP and all that. Why is Hendy good to go? Because he decided that he didn't want to be hurt, Nick. I mean, I don't know what you mean by this. All right, Michael from San Diego, final thoughts, young man.
Final thoughts for me was just the reason I like Bijan too over Chase is more about what I can do with the 2-3 turn as well. Like you were mentioning earlier with Gibbs, a lot of the 2 pick is pretty similar. I can take Neighbors and then Jeremiah Love, and I feel like that's my favorite start this year. Is either one of Gibbs or Bijan, and then I get, like you said, Neighbor and Love in 2-3 turns.
Mm-hmm.
I got a wide receiver 1 and 2 elite running backs, and then whatever happens after that is.
I'm fine with it. I have no qualms with Bijan number 2 overall. Like, I don't know who it's wild to me the way people interpret things.
Just like, some people might think, he might not have him top 5 or something. Not me.
But in everything I say about it, I say it. I go, I would take him 2. He's my number 2. Like, I make it pretty clear. But for some reason, people are like, well, if he's discount, he's not discounted. Bijan to me. I mean, again, when you look at Gibbs versus Bijan scored 11 touchdowns last year. And there's a good chance that at best he's in the same touchdown equity situation. He might break off a couple more long ones or something. I'm not saying he can't exceed 11. But
underestimate the goal line usage, though. I think you do what a lot of Gibbs truthers do. And that was me, but it's something I noticed where you guys used Monty leaving and going to Houston as a boost for him a bit, but we forget Algier stole a lot of the goal line carries, specifically goal line. I think that's what I mean is he makes.
Yeah, but you're also probably not seeing the offense be as solid, so it's gonna wash that because there's no way you can convince me that Tommy Reese is better than Zach Robinson. When we saw Zach Robinson literally hand Bijan Robinson 14, Zach Robinson handed him 1,400 rushing yards. It was 800 and whatever receiving. 80-90 receptions, 11 touchdowns. Like, this was a massive year for Bijan. There's no way Bijan that I think that his volume is going to be exactly the same, unfortunately. So if he gets a dip, and even you said the other night, he gets a dip to like down to 600 yards instead of 800 or whatever. There's going to be a decline somewhere. It's so if he, but if
I'm saying the stuff that now might double.
I don't think they're going to double. I think they
are going to be. You think Penix is going to be 60, right? So if that's the case, we know what we have with Penix. Offense, they do far.
I think
It's going to be.
I don't think we're putting Bijan in a position to score 20 plus touchdowns. Let me just put it that way. I think Gibbs and Chase have a position, especially with how good their offenses are, how much they'll live in the red zone. They have a position to be in the 18 to 20 touchdown territory. So that's what it comes down to. But doesn't mean Bijan, with all of his yardage and all the other stuff that he does, doesn't get to that number 2, number 3, number 3 overall pick. But it's just, I'm just saying logically, you can't sit here and go, okay, losing Zach Robinson to Tommy Reese, who we didn't see Tommy Reese use the running backs like that at all, by the way.
He got boosted more by Bijan. Zach Robinson's nice. But, I think Bijan's an all-generational running back.
We know that, but like, you can't dial up what he dialed up for Bijan.
Tommy Reese comes in and the floor just falls underneath.
I'm not saying that, but that's where I think there's a weird disconnect when I talk about this. Like, people are acting like I'm saying something wild about Bijan. Bijan's my number 2 overall running back, but you got to think logically about what Zach Robinson just did for Bijan, how good he was. Drake London was wide receiver number 1, I believe, 3 different times last year. Like, Zach Robinson is like a mastermind. And so you're taking him away, and Tommy Reese doesn't have much to show for in terms of utilizing one running back the way that Zach Robinson did. And so I'm just telling you, it's not logical to expect Bijan's numbers to overall be better. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it won't wash. Maybe less receiving yards. He ends up scoring 3 more touchdowns, and it accounts for that. It's certainly possible. But this is a Zach Robinson leaving, not necessarily something that's going to put Bijan, with losing Zach Robinson, into a 20 touchdown expectation. That's all I'm saying. He stays where he is because he's Bijan, but Gibbs and Chase have that 18 to 20 touchdown capability. So I'm not suggesting anything negative about Bijan, but he doesn't have the kicker that both Chase and Gibbs have, given the offenses and where those offenses will live on the regular, which is the red zone, the green zone, the end zone. But not negative.
Before I get out of here, my last point is just, look, these are the numbers I stand by, and if it's not correct, I'll come back and I'll admit that I'm wrong. Deere had a lot of goal line carries last year and had 8 touchdowns. I just don't think Brian Robinson is getting a Algier role. So I think Bijan is just taking the ball.
We don't know that, though. Like, we don't know what Tommy Reese is going to do, because Tommy Reese isn't exactly a running back. I'm not saying he won't be good with Bijan. I'm just saying we don't really have him. You don't know what he's going to do. You saw him completely misuse Judkins. So I don't know how you would know that.
It's like that Justin Jefferson interview a couple years ago when they were mentioning Garrett Wilson, and he was like, "I'm not Garrett Wilson." And to me, this is that exact same situation. He's not Quinshon Judkins. This is Bijan Robinson.
I understand that, but you don't know how he's going to use him yet. You don't. Like, Tommy Reese, I think, is a good potential offensive coordinator. I like him. I don't love him. I like him. I think he's a downgrade from Zach Robinson. We just saw what Zach Robinson did. Like, the proof is in the numbers, man. Like, what he did with what he had, especially the quarterback situation being volatile, and like, he did very, very well. Like, Bijan, you couldn't ask for a better year. I mean, yeah, you'd like more than 11 touchdowns, but you couldn't ask for a better year than what Bijan brought last year. That was an unbelievable season. I just think that, Tommy Reese also is handcuffed to Stefanski, who is a play caller by nature, a very bad one, who has had his play calling duty stripped twice, that does meddle, and he's going to potentially create this quarterback mess. Maybe not. Maybe Penix starts week 1, but he's going to create some sort of quarterback mess. He doesn't understand personnel, and that's going to potentially have a few hiccups along the way, is what I'm saying. That's it. I mean, but again, there's nothing negative about Bijan. It's just that Gibbs has a potential, especially when your coach comes out and says, we're going to test the limits and feed him more than we've ever fed him before. It's just like I don't understand how someone
just to let you know, Smitty, I'm not arguing the what you think of Bijan as a talent. I just think the situation is going to be better than what you're giving it credit for.
I'm giving it. That's the whole point. Is I'm giving it plenty of good credit. I'm just not putting him in an 18 touchdown, 20 touchdown expectation like I am giving. That's the problem when people hear this. But when people hear this, because I'm not putting Bijan next to a ramped up opportunity for both Gibbs and Chase to have 18, 20 touchdowns, which is a rarity. This is not like every season we have two guys that I feel are going to have 18 to 20 plus touchdowns. This is Randy Moss territory. But because I'm not bringing Bijan along for the ride, it becomes a negative conversation around Bijan. I don't think you're giving Bijan enough credit, is what you just said, or whatever whatever words you use. Like, I'm giving Bijan plenty of credit. Like, I'm just not putting him in. I'm not putting the turbo boost on it like I am with.
Yeah.
I'm not predicting a big decline at all. So I just think that where there is more touchdowns, there might be less yardage, and he kind of gets near his numbers. I don't think he quite hits the full, maybe exact number that he had last year, but it'll be pretty close. I just think we're talking about turbo boost, nitro being added to the vehicles of Gibbs and Jamar Chase, and that doesn't put a negative on Bijan. I'm just saying to walk in and expect, okay, Gibbs is now going to go to Andromeda Galaxy, Chase is going to Andromeda Galaxy. They're both going to go from good amount of touchdowns to maybe 18, 20, and you're putting Bijan alongside of him, and he doesn't have nitro, and you're expecting him to also take a bigger leap off of last year's stats. It doesn't make sense to me when you rip Tommy, or you put Tommy Reese in and you rip Zach Robinson out when Zach Robinson looked absolutely fantastic in calling plays. That's all I'm saying. I'm not putting him in a car and hitting the nitro button. That's all. It doesn't mean he's not staying number 3, number 2, number 4 overall. Like, he's certainly top 5 overall player. He's certainly a top 2 running back in 2026, but Gibbs is above him. Gibbs tier break. And then Jamar Chase, I believe, is in that tier as well. But that's just my take on it. Jamar Chase could get injured. Look, he hyperextended his knee. Anything could happen. Bijan could easily be 2 still overall. But I'm going to take Jamar Chase because I want that 18 to 20 touchdown potential equity. That's it. All right, Michael, appreciate you. Calling tonight. Later, bro.
Yep.
AMC 8-man dynasty PPR, Kyron Burden for Wilson Tootin. You probably say give me Garrett Wilson Tootin without much of a hesitation. I like Tootin over Kyron. I like Wilson over Burden. So you're winning both sides of that. And that's arguable. Someone might want to argue that. I get it. And then this one here from Brandon, and then we're done with the super chats. Or caught up at least. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, 420 man again over there in the Rumble. Pick 6 Achan. Pick 6 Achan. Oh, draft slot 6. Okay. It always sounds like people are telling me to pick 6 players. Draft slot 6. Do you like Bowers at 2? Then hopefully Pickens, Neighbors, or AJB at 2. What the hell is he talking about? Hold on 1 second, Elgin. Just mute yourself. I'll be right with you.
Do you like Bowers at 2, then hopefully Pickens and Neighbors or Neighbors? So Achan, Bowers, Pickens or Neighbors in the future, or Achan, AJB, Pickens, Neighbors. I guess the question is just AJB or Bowers in the second.
AJB, Bowers. I mean, both of them. I love both of them. I think if you have balance through like Love, so if you go Achan and you go Bowers, you need to have, or Achan and Pickens or AJB, and then McBride would be better than going Achan, Bowers, then missing the receiver. But Nico's usually there. You can still do well with Nico or Rice, but I would rather have McBride over Bowers if it meant getting Pickens or Neighbors in that 2 spot, or AJB to go with Achan. Because think about that team, bro. Achan, AJB, and McBride. Like, it's crazy. I just think you're...
Seems to think as a team, maybe he gets...
Yeah. You could. I mean, would I rather ultimately have Achan, Bowers, and Neighbors, and you get it, you land it? Yeah, of course. But if you think you won't get those receivers...
Does that change it?
It makes me kind of contemplate, like, for sure going wide receiver, and then if McBride and Neighbors are there in the third, you can go Neighbors in the third and have 2 receivers. So I would definitely say Achane wide receiver so that you have the flexibility to do whatever you want in the third round. Because if you go Bowers, who I love, but you have equal talents in AJB and Pickens there, I'm going to lean toward the AJ Pickens because of what I still get opportunity wise with McBride maybe, and what I get alternately with maybe having that Neighbors or whatever if they fall. So go wide receiver with Achane. That'd be my advice. All right, this caller real quick, then we're out of here. I'll go to Travis for a final thought. Elgin, you're live real quickly as fast as you can. I can't mark or board it for you, but hit me with it, whatever you got real quick.
No, what I do is I just call back later, though, because I need you to write this down. So
well, hit me. Just say it real quick because I might not even have time later. So just hit me with it now. Just verbalize it.
Okay, so it's a dynasty league, and I just made a trade. So I traded Tucker Craft and Waddle for Jonathan Brooks. But my running backs, I still got Bijan, I still got Chase Brown, and I got Tutu. Bayshawn
Tutu.
And my receivers, I still got, Jamal Chase and Puka. And then last, it's a dynasty league. So, but everybody say I lost the trade, by giving up that value. So
you give up Kraft and Waddle for Brooks?
Yeah, but I still got Brock Bowser.
It doesn't matter what you still have. Like, it doesn't matter what you still have. That's a justification. Let's just go through the trade. I mean, it does matter. Like, did you do good? Did you have surplus? I get that, but whenever somebody says, "But I still have," like, that's your justification for making a bad trade. But let's see if you made a bad trade. So you just got Brooks alone for Kraft and Waddle.
Yeah.
It's tight end premium or no?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I would say that you probably gave up too much because Brooks is an unknown. I like him, but Waddle probably has more value than Brooks right now. And I think you bought on the hype, which we love Brooks, bro. We love him, but you can't buy him on the hype. You got to buy him at a good price. And the fact that you traded Waddle and Brooks when they're even and gave him in tight end premium, a potential top 5 tight end in Kraft, you did get taken value-wise on the trade for sure. Like pretty hardcore.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But your team sounds good still.
I did. Yeah, if Brooks hit, I just know that I'm good though. So which I think he is. So like I said, I still got Loveland and Brock Bowers as my tight end.
I got you, but you can't keep giving away stuff. Eventually, you're going to run out of money. You know what I mean? You got to save some for your own retirement. Just a little bit.
I want to tell you my whole team, but I got a lot of depth. But I don't want to tell you my whole team.
You don't need to. You don't need to. Just know that, like, doesn't matter though. Try and get good value, because it doesn't matter what you have.
Right.
I can't just start lumping things together and go, I can afford to go get Brooks. Here's one. You're like, Jim Carrey handing out $100 bills. Dumb and Dumber. Just here you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, and then you're writing IOUs at the end of your life because you got rid of all your talent. So definitely got worked over on that one. But I will say, I think Brooks is going to make you happy. But I just think you gave up too much. Fair market wise.
Yeah.
All right, my boy. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, later. Travis, final thoughts on anything?
Yeah, I mean, he should have got another piece with Brooks, like another good piece.
For sure.
And then, I could have got behind it. Like at that point, if you get 2 good pieces and you're betting up, easier to justify giving up.
Yep.
Some depth that you have.
Yeah.
Or even like
but I'm more concerned about Elgin's rationalization, where he kept saying it. Like, it wasn't like one, he kept going, but I got all this. Like, Elgin, you got to learn not to justify a trade just because you have extra stuff. You got an extra 100 grand in the bank. You don't just offer an extra 100 grand for a house, when you're buying it. Work on that part, Elgin. That's what I will work on. I'm more concerned about that than the trade. But I mean, look, Brooks could end up being better than Waddle by a lot by the end of the year in terms of like dynasty value. Like, Waddle will be another year older. What if he suffers an injury? He's very injury prone. Like, Brooks could be really, really good. You could say Brooks is injury prone, but really he isn't. he had 2 ACL tears. One was a botched, failed attempt by, I don't want to blame it on the medical. We don't know how it failed, but it failed. And the first one was freak. So like Brooks doesn't have an injury history in terms of like a repetitive worry about it coming back. But as far as Waddle could get hurt and something, and then all of a sudden it's Kraft tight end premium versus Brooks, which honestly, Elgin, you could argue tight end premium Kraft is equal to Brooks when Brooks is balling. So that's where you really screwed up by just throwing 2 of them in there, 2 players. But I appreciate you, Elgin.
If you see the news, the chat's letting us know QJ equals wide receiver 1, and he just shot up draft boards because he's looking.
Oh my God. QJ scored. He didn't drop it.
Week 3 of preseason, QJ wide receiver 1.
Kalen Black, 28 yards. Jeremy Bernard looked pretty good on his touchdown reception. Washington ended up with 8 totes for the 49 yards. Looking good, Mike Washington. Laporta resumed practice on Tuesday. Hunter Henry will be an important part of the offense. Kenneth Walker is going to be fine. By the way, if anybody didn't hear, we'll probably talk about this at the top of the show tonight, I think. But Kenneth Walker, his foot soreness is his shoe. His shoe was causing some swelling in his foot because it was rubbing up again. I don't know. Like, that's all that Andy Reid said. But there's no like concern really that he has a foot injury. So kind of odd. But we'll maybe break that down. But
did you see this trade? It's minor, but could be interesting. Falcons traded Tutu Atwell for Jarquez Hunter.
Yeah.
Becomes interesting.
Yeah. Hunter looked pretty good, but it also gives Corum and Kyron a nice confidence, that they're not that Hunter was going to be taking anything, but.
And it also makes you wonder if the Rams like this Dean Connors guy.
Yeah.
Who's looked really good. Just things to watch all those are tough as they do cut downs.
Corum's becoming.
What do you think about
a high pick for? I keep drafting Corum. I think Corum's going to be a really big league winner, and I hate saying that because I'm such a Kyron guy, but that's the objectivity that you need to bring to the table. I think Corum's going to really be, especially cost of entry. I love Kyron, and I still think there's a world where Kyron just continues, like we said the other night, continues to score 10 touchdowns, like 2 more years. But Corum has a real chance at cost of entry to win leagues. But what were you saying?
Like Jarquez versus Ollie. Like, what do you make of that?
I think they're maybe more worried about Ollie's injury than we think, is what I'm thinking. I don't know.
True. Yeah. And I think it really speaks to Jalen Wright being.
Yeah. But we'll see if Ollie's hurt bad. He got injured, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Smitty.
Call him tonight. Later, bro.
See you later.
All right. We are going to be out of here. Overcome dropping a super chat on the way out the door. Appreciate everybody dropping supers in the building tonight. Kind of sounds like a joke to me. His shoe. Walker had a lingering foot injury his entire career. What do you think? Walker hasn't had lingering foot. Walker has been coined as this injury-prone guy. He's had some abdominal stuff, but he gets a pretty bad rap for being this constantly injury-plagued player. No, it doesn't sound funny to me at all. I mean, why would Andy Reid make up something about his shoe? He's like, he had some swelling in his foot because of his shoe. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about it tonight, but maybe there was something that caused him to have some unfortunate continuation of something because of the shoe, but the way he worded it, I think Walker's going to be fine. I think Petrified Peters everywhere are running away from Walker, and I think I'll take advantage. Thank you very much.
Kenneth Skywalker.
Is Achan getting traded maybe to Green Bay? Bro, what are you talking about? Bro, you just signed a big fat. What are you doing back there, bro? Bro, 0% chance. -% chance. All right, see you all at midnight. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. See you guys at midnight. Appreciate you. Don't forget to click that link that's pinned in the live chat. Underdog promo code Smitty. We'll draft on Underdog. PPR auction, keep 2. Gibbs 63, Scat 8, Burden 5. I'm going to keep Gibbs and Burden. Easy call. Don't trust Scat. I trust Burden more than Scat, but love the value. Walker has missed costly time. Overcome, you sound like somebody that's trying to will a Walker demise because you have a lot of Emmett Johnson. You sound very biased with this take, by the way. I'm just letting you know. You asked me for my honest opinion, and that's why you come to me and ask questions, Overcome, and I truly appreciate you. But my honest assessment of your take here is you're wanting something to be wrong with Walker, just so you know. That's the psychology. I got the psychology degree for a reason. It's for moments like this, moments to shine like this, my guy. How does it make you feel? How does it truly make you feel is what I guess I would ask you. Overcome. We'll address this later on the couch, maybe potentially. We're gonna have the psychology couch on the channel very, very soon, so get ready for that. See you all at midnight Eastern. Appreciate every single one of you. Deuce. H-hand traded. Woo! Woo! Imagine them signing to a big. You can't. The dead cap alone, bro. Like the math doesn't. The math doesn't even math, let alone the logic. But all right, see you all later. Hey Ma, you hear that? Yeah, the meatloaf. Is the meatloaf ready? Hey Ma, you hear that guy say H-hand getting traded?